We've known for a while that the mainstream media, the biased mainstream media, have been always quite friendly towards Nicola Sturgeon and her stupid party, the SNP. And one example is during the whole lockdown when journalists were very, very strong to scrutinize Boris Johnson and the central government, but they didn't do much when it came to Nicola Sturgeon because she can do no wrong. She's the Queen of Scotland. There was only one occasion where her scientific advisor, medical advisor, deputy, I think, broke the lockdown rules. The media obviously mentioned it, but otherwise, she has mismanaged the whole situation in Scotland. The media didn't say anything. They've always been quite friendly towards her, even though the mainstream media, including the BBC or Sky News, are supposed to be pro-union, because it's not a political position to take. This is just the system we have, the country we have. But they've been always sympathizing with the Nicola Sturgeon because I don't know why, but that's just how they are. Things are changing now because Sky News are turning against Nicola Sturgeon. As you know, Alex Salmond is the former leader of the SNP before Nicola Sturgeon became leader. He's a bit of a dodgy character. He's corrupt. He's a bit handsy, let's just say. And there's a bit of an inquiry investigation going on at this moment against Alex Salmond and his behavior and misconduct. So Sky News have found new information that shows that Nicola Sturgeon lied to the Scottish Parliament. Not even surprised. So basically, Nicola Sturgeon now faces new questions over whether she misled Parliament, the Scottish Parliament, about when she knew of the Alex Salmond complaints. So this is about a couple of years ago when the whole complaints started to happen. She has essentially said something else. So Sky News has learned that there are conflicting accounts of a meeting she attended at the height of a Scottish government inquiry into her predecessor. Nicola Sturgeon told the Scottish Parliament that she was informed of the complaints when Alex Salmond told her himself on the 2nd of April 2018. Now remember this date, 2nd of April. So before the 2nd of April, Nicola Sturgeon had no idea what was happening. She didn't even know who Alex Salmond was, probably. But things have changed because there are unseen accounts of an earlier meeting that shows that she lied to the Scottish Parliament. Now, look at the timeline. So this is the timeline that Sky News have published. Brilliant. So 6th of March 2018, Jeff Aberdeen, who's Alex Salmond's former chief of staff, met with Nicola Sturgeon's assistant for a catch-up. 3 days later, during this meeting, Nicola Sturgeon's aide told Aberdeen of 2 complaints of alleged misconduct against Salmond. Towards the end of that month, in March, he met with Nicola Sturgeon, Jeff Aberdeen, in her office. A senior Scottish government official was also present, and Sky News has been told that the investigation into complaints against Salmond was discussed at this meeting. You think that's bad? Then on the 2nd of April, Nicola Sturgeon met with Alex Salmond himself at her house in Glasgow. And she tells the Scottish Parliament that this was when she found out about the whole situation. Sure, you had no idea. For a month, you had no idea. At least a month. Because, we're talking about the meetings that have now finally been published. She probably even knew about it before that. But, at least Jeff met with Nicola's assistant the beginning of March. So she definitely knew. So the Scottish Nationalist Party are completely divided. The media are turning against them, but now they're turning against each other. So Joanna Cherry is having a dig at Angus Robertson and other candidates because she is one of the few who's finally accepted that we shouldn't go against Brexit anymore. She tweeted, "The trouble with pitching for the SNP election in 2021 as the anti-Brexit candidate is that Brexit has happened, despite the best efforts of those of us who fought it tooth and nail. The issue now is how we secure independence and Scotland's future in Europe." She got completely destroyed by her colleagues because apparently she's a sellout. It's the same Joanna Cherry who was trying her best to stop Brexit, guys. Be friendly, be supportive. So the media are finally turning against Sturgeon. Her own members are targeting each other. Things are going well for the SNP, guys. So it's kind of funny because when you're in, especially obviously I live in London, most people in England don't really hear much from Scotland because unless you actually live in Scotland with the local newspapers, the press and the media, we don't really hear much unless there's a massive scandal or unless you do your own research on the internet in terms of the local papers in Scotland. But that's why I'm talking about this on this channel, because again, the BBC or these guys won't really mention any of this. Speaking of the BBC, they are also being targeted by ordinary taxpayers because people are losing their patience now. Andrew Neil, who has recently been cancelled by the BBC, the only credible and professional broadcast journalist that the BBC had. And he took to Twitter to explain why they got rid of him, and which is an absolutely classic tactic that corporations use to get rid of someone. Instead of just saying, go away, you're cancelled, they find a way to offer you something that you can't say yes to. So he tweeted saying, the program, his show, is not coming back. The BBC said that it could come back if I accepted a new late afternoon time in the BBC Two schedule. But the BBC Two bosses did not want it back at 7 p.m. I declined the new time, so the new show was cancelled. This is classic. It always happens with corporations. When they don't want to actually directly get rid of you, they offer something that you're definitely going to say no to. Why would you move your most popular show and broadcast journalist to a time when no one's going to watch? Move him to prime time again. Absolute idiots. So people are not happy about this situation when they found out. They went on Twitter, as people said. One person said, the BBC doesn't want a fair program. They only want people who agree with their pro-EU lefty views. I never watch the BBC now. They have become a political party and push their angle all the time, no matter what the discussion is about. Their presenters try to maneuver their guests into saying something that they can then use to make a political point. That's true. And then there are also more people saying things like the BBC obviously realised that Andrew Neil doesn't fit the BBC agenda. This is the end of freedom speech. Sack the BBC leadership. Replace all the biased illiberals. And on Facebook, someone said, Andrew Neil is a great journalist. No wonder the a biased BBC wanted him out. He does not suit their agenda. Of course, they don't want people like Andrew Neil. He doesn't fit their agenda. Yes. So we got the tweets. Obviously, this is actually thanks to the Express publishing the tweets. It's easier to find them like that. But these examples always happen. This morning, Helen Whately, the government minister, was on the BBC Breakfast show. And Dan Walker, don't get me started on that one. So, this guy presents one of the most important shows, BBC Breakfast, and they do very important interviews. Now, whatever you say about Piers Morgan, the competitor on ITV, is completely different, because Dan Walker is not really good at scrutinizing and questioning ministers, because government ministers are very good these days when it comes to not answering questions, and Helen Whately was doing the exact same thing this morning. He was asking about the whole quarantine situation with Spain. If you travel from Spain to the UK, you have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. And so she knew her brief, so she didn't answer any questions. He lost his patience, so he went to classic journalist. He just interrupted her. We can't really show the clip because it might get censored again. The BBC keeps complaining. But he didn't let her actually answer the questions. If you let them talk, these politicians, you'll trap them. Just let them keep talking. That's the best way. He kept interrupting because he's an idiot. So people actually said, Dan Walker hasn't even got the skill to challenge Helen Whately. Nobody should be this hopeless, surely. Another one said a lack of clarity, and yet Dan has just summarized the situation perfectly clearly. Someone said that, in his defense. And then someone said, it's the Muppet Show interview, and Dan Walker let her speak. That's the thing. They're not professional, and they are obviously incredibly biased because they don't know how to actually be impartial in terms of the interviews. So when they interview Nicola Sturgeon, we've seen so many times, when the BBC or Sky interview Nicola Sturgeon, they don't really scrutinize her because she's very good. Nicola Sturgeon is very good on TV and for interviews as well. Whatever you say about her politics, she's a pro. And these people keep falling for her trap, just like what Helen Whately did today. But so that's the thing. So in this video, we covered the idiocy of the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon, but how the media don't even know what to do anymore. They're very confused. Are they pro or against anything anymore? They shouldn't be, but they try their best to be. So this is the video we have. The next video I'm going to post after this is we're going to also answer the questions we get from the members of the channel. So if you're not a member, become a member. Support the channel. Find the link in the description or just go on youtube.com/myotc/join. There are a lot of perks and benefits. You've got the weekly Q&As, weekly video podcasts on Sundays, exclusive content, Zoom video calls, and everything else that we have. And yeah, so do that. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. I'm myotc. I'll see you guys in the next video.